Recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios Brisbane on 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Zed Games.
With 10 years experience and over 500 episodes,
Zed Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture.
Want to reach out? Message us on Facebook at ZED Games AU.
Hello. You're listening to Zed Games. My name is Zahra, and with me in the studio tonight is
Cam
and
Maylee.
Woohoo! And we have the usual. We have the usual tonight, which is
different.
But different. Because we're presenting the usual type of content, like the categories, which is news, reviews, community culture, gaming, music. But every week it's different, so it's different. It's got a different source every week, so it's never old.
Yes.
How are you two tonight?
Oh, feeling great.
Yeah?
I had a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Ate too
Good
much
day.
sushi.
Some
Oh
sushi.
my gosh, I wish that was me.
Ooh.
I've eaten no sushi today, which is the worst amount of sushi to eat.
Me, I've also not eaten any sushi today. Oh my god, Cam, you are winning.
Well, those old video games you play where you beat someone up and a chicken pops out on the ground,
Yes.
right?
Are you saying that if we punch you, sushi will pop out?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I am a sushi piñata right now.
All right, a sushi piñata. I'm completely unrelated. I'm going to cut away to the news. And if some punching noises come through, don't worry about it.
It's fine.
This week in gaming woos. If you're looking forward to the upcoming Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on May 12th, let this be a warning for you. The entire 200 plus page art book has been leaked onto the internet. With game details currently scarce and 3 months left until release, spoilers now abound regarding characters that will appear in-game and their designs. While the art book doesn't directly spoil any gameplay, elements can certainly be inferred by some of the content, so be wary of those looking to spoil your sense of discovery. Woo! Vice President of Microsoft, Brad Smith, has announced a binding 10-year contract with Nintendo, outlining their intent to bring Xbox and Activision games to Nintendo platforms. Specifically, the deal outlines a commitment to release Call of Duty games the same day as Xbox, with full feature and content parity. How they plan to achieve this is yet to be seen. Shortly afterwards, at a press conference in Brussels, Smith also announced that all Xbox games would be coming to the competing cloud gaming service GeForce Now. The moves are part of Microsoft's strategy to defend their proposed acquisition of Activision to the European Union's antitrust authorities. The deal is currently under investigation and has been heavily criticised by Sony, primarily on the issue of potential Call of Duty exclusivity. Microsoft is hoping to settle the matter by June this year. Woo! In the most gripping news of the year so far, it has been noticed that the reading of Yahoo! Used in the trailer for the upcoming The Super Mario Bros. Movie has been updated. As a controversial choice for the iconic plumber, Chris Pratt has a lot to prove, and to help sell him in the role, we've gone from this to this. One more time, this is now this. The shocking change has rocked our very perception of reality, but is it a step in the right direction? Only time will tell. Oh, and here it is in French. Legendary XCOM and Civilization studio Firaxis Games has seen the departure of both the studio head, Steve Martin, after 27 years, and creative director Jack Solomon, who was a primary driving force between the development of XCOM 1, 2, War of the Chosen, and the recent Marvel's Midnight Suns, after 23 years with the company. Both posted messages announcing their departure on Twitter. No reason has been stated for their departure, but they appear to have left the company on good terms. Upcoming game releases. February 24 will see Blood Bowl 3 for PlayStation and Xbox platforms, as well as PC and Switch, Company of Heroes 3 for PC, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe on Switch, and Octopath Traveler 2 for PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC. February 28th will see Destiny 2 Lightfall and Scars Above for PlayStation platforms, Xbox platforms, and PC, as well as Dungeons of Aether for PC. That's all this Yahoo! In gaming, woo!
Thank you so much for the news, Paul. That was a delight. Now, I am obligated to make everyone in the studio tonight do their best wahoo. Cameron, you go first.
Yahoo!
Maylee.
Wahoo!
Oh, nice.
Myself. Woohoo!
Oh, I like the energy.
Alrighty. Now that we've got that out of the way. What about... Okay. I was reading... So, the whole, like, Microsoft stuff coming over to the Switch. Does anyone else feel like that is slightly illegal somehow?
Hang on. I should point out they never actually said Switch.
Ooh.
They just said Nintendo systems.
Oh my gosh, that's true.
Then what?
This might come as a shock. There's something coming up.
No, they would not, like, leave a little breadcrumb trail to, like, tantalize...
You think they're going to be making Call of Duty for the Switch in 10 years from now?
That's actually what I was picturing, because I thought that would be absolutely hilarious. Like,
None of these games would work on the Switch. It would just be...
Yeah.
I am
terrible.
issuing a challenge to Nintendo to make Call of Duty... What's the most recent one?
Oh, who cares?
I don't know. The most recent one...
None of us do.
Playable on the Switch, and I want it to be, like... nice, smooth frames. That one guy with the skull mask, I want him to be like, I want him to at least have half of his polygons. That is my challenge.
Okay, I'll just call Nintendo now.
Yeah, your Uncle Nintendo.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
Nintendo.
I mean, it's a smart move. It's a smart business move, and I can't disagree with that. It just
We can disagree with smart business moves.
but would not what?
Well, we're not business people. We're the consumers, and sometimes it's not the best thing for the consumer.
We're on air on Triple Z. We don't exactly make smart business moves in our lives. I think that's fair to say.
Excuse me.
This is my
just saying,
best business decision ever.
We shouldn't be in charge of video games.
Completely unrelated. I have some Nintendo stocks to sell.
Really?
Yes. If you will just come into the empty studio next door. You also need to put this pillowcase over your head. Why am I threatening you so much tonight? Like, what is going on?
It's like always ends up with you threatening bodily harm.
Oh
Just
my
on me,
gosh.
which is fair.
I think, okay, if I do that one more time, I want you to just, like, mutiny against me. All right?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I have a review for you too.
I'm very excited.
Bring it on.
I'm keen for this game.
Want to take a moment, not just for you two, but also for the listeners. I want you to look around, and I want you to decide that this moment is going to be memorable.
Every moment here doing this show with you guys is memorable.
Oh my goodness, Maylee, you're making me cry. And now the mic sock is damp from my tears.
That's so gross.
But my point is that memories are important. Not like memorizing your notes before a big exam, although that is important. What I mean is the memories of the things you have experienced, seen, smelt, tasted, heard. The memory of the scratchy jumper you had to wear as a kid. The memory of waking up to music playing and knowing immediately that it was going to be a cleaning day. It has been 10 years since I lived with my mother, and I still remember the sound of her car coming to a stop in the driveway. Except now that the context has changed. She's a guest, coming to visit, rather than coming home after work. I'm willing to bet that many of you have similar memories. Perhaps you were bullied in school. Maybe you won a spelling bee. You catch a whiff of cologne and remember your father dabbing some on before heading out to work while you got ready for school. Perhaps you remember him straightening your collar and you straighten his tie. A mirror of each other across generations. We all have memories we cherish, we preserve, we struggle with, memories we wish we could forget, memories we wish we could remember. Season, A Letter to the Future, is about remembering. Not just your own memories, but the memories, the lives, the experiences of those you meet. Remembering people, remembering events for people. The importance of memories is immediately highlighted when, in the game, your mother sacrifices 5 precious memories of her own in order to protect your mind against forces that may take your memories away. The reason is twofold. 1, she insists it's your duty to remember. You are to travel across the world recording the season and the end of it. But of course the world is dangerous and the mind is so vulnerable. How could a mother not want to protect her child? She cannot go with you and she doesn't want you to go, but you go because you must. At least this way she can rest a little easier. Season, A Letter to the Future, is a beautiful, stylistic 3D game that plays out much like a poem detailing a great journey, from one who's experiencing that journey. This is a poem that you create and cultivate, and the contents of the journey is dependent on you. In simple terms, Season is a cycling simulator. You play as Estelle and you start in the reclusive village of Cairo. The first things you record with your camera and audio recorder is the sleep music that plays in the streets, the fountain tinkling, the statue of those who founded this village, and the remnants of the farewell party thrown for you. You must say goodbye to Cairo and your mother, a process that reminded me of when I first moved out on my own, and of my own mother. Indeed, I felt motivated to send her a quick I love you text after that memory ritual. You learn about Cairo in the process. This town where your best friend loves to fish but no one has seen a fish in years. The memory and dream treatments, the history, and then all too soon it is time to select a bike and leave. Estelle experiences loneliness for the first time. She sees remnants of structures from seasons past, including the season of all before her time, but their impact on the land, the ruins, the memories of such events permanently scarred into the roads and mountains. She sees a goat for the first time and pets it. And along the way you are recording, sketching, finding memories and remembering them. As you take photos and recordings, find souvenirs and snippets of history, you compile it in your journey, filling the pages with everything you have seen, heard, felt and experienced. It isn't just old buildings and a large world that you experience. You also meet people. I spent a good 7 hours in a valley that was doomed to be flooded as the crumbling dam nearby is destroyed. But you are given the chance to explore the valley, record the town, Shang, and its inhabitants. You learn about the Greyhands, who are attempting to prepare people for the new season, whilst you attempt to define what this season even was. Within the valley, I met a new widow and her son, who now had to evacuate and select only a few things from their farm. A challenging task, but what if you are still early in your grieving process, and suddenly you can't keep these precious mementos? You might not be ready to leave anything behind yet, but you still need to. In that case, perhaps a passing stranger who is here to remember everything could help. This world is so full of detail, areas to explore, puzzles and mysteries to solve, and you can record as much or as little of it as you want. It is up to you to decide what is important and what isn't. Perhaps everything is important and you meticulously record everything. Perhaps you're aware of how much of the world there is to record, and it might be better to prioritize. There isn't really a wrong path or a wrong decision. I've had to make several irreversible decisions, and the impact of those choices are sometimes immediately clear. Some of them, however, will take time to reveal. And so you travel on your bicycle. I picked the yellow one, by the way. Largely alone except for your memories, your dreams, your hopes, and those snippets of interactions with other people. You remember them for the future using your journal. You can decide exactly what you want to put in the journal, with the journal itself being a mechanic. You can fill its pages, and you don't have to put in much, but each page you fill grants you greater insight into the history of this world and this season. Estelle is incredibly curious, and I feel you have to indulge that curiosity to get the most out of this game. But also, you're free to move on whenever you wish. I find this game beautiful with vibrant colours and shapes, with an art style that feels distinctive, readable and gorgeous, although the game struggles with loading in patches of environment and objects. It's not uncommon to get stuck on a rock, requiring a dedicated unstuck button in the start menu, and sometimes I felt like I was playing the game wrong. That latter issue went away after I learnt that there isn't really a way to play it wrong. The soundtrack is immersive. It envelops you in this meditative journey, drawing you in as you cycle through the landscape, experiencing and thinking until you see something that catches your eye. Sound is important in this game, where flowers will sing out to you, recalling memories of conversations past, conversations well before your time. Sleep music plays, lulling you into a dream. The people you meet all have such unique voices, rich and descriptive, reflecting the person. You meet a pessimistic monk, an old artist, a child who wants to show you everything before it's all gone. And their voices reflect their lives, their fears, and their dreams. Season is a cycling simulator, and you spend a lot of time wrangling your bike into place so you can see more things more quickly. I found myself spacing out a lot, reflecting a lot on this world and Estelle's life as she shares it, but also on my own life, my own memories. I found myself asking, what memories could I sacrifice? What memories I wish were gone? And whether I would actually be able to let them go. They're a part of me too, as unwanted as an ugly scar, and they tell a story, my story. It's not a game for everyone. I found it a little frustrating at times. Sometimes I wish I could just go quicker, but also I was the one who stopped to take that photo of a bird. I was the one who stopped to investigate a shrine. It is a slow game and it's not to be rushed. I have not finished it. I'm not too sure when I will, but I'm not really focused on finishing the game. To end on a cliche, something about the journey being more important than destination. You know?
I know. That's very cool.
Woof, I just think you took us on a journey.
Yeah,
there.
I'm feeling
Sure
so
did.
engrossed.
I'm feeling very wistful right now.
Yeah. I feel like this I should be feeling after actually playing the game, but just your review makes me feel
Oh,
Yeah, that was very touching.
oh, you too. It really is a beautiful game. There are a few aspects of it that was just kind of like a little frustrating, and you can't really speed run the game. So if you're that type of person who will feel impatient with the pace, it's probably not the best game for you.
No, that's the Lance Armstrong DLC that's coming later.
Yeah, exactly. That's the Tour de Caro. My name is Zahra, and with me in the studio tonight is Cam and Maylee.
hey.
And Cam has something to talk to us about.
Now, I threatened you people with this when I started. I said, listen, at one point, I'm going to actually take over the airwaves. Right now, this is the only thing on the radio, and I'm going to talk about the Commodore 64.
You've taken over literally every single airwave, and
Yes.
now everyone in the entire world is hearing about the Commodore 64.
Oh,
Whether
now.
they like it or not.
Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, so for me, the Commodore 64 is like the ultimate games machine. It is beautiful. I love it. It's the system I grew up playing on. It's always going to have a special place in my heart. Now, if you're wondering, hey, Cam, what is the Commodore 64?
Hey Cam, what is the Commodore 64?
Glad you asked. Fantastic. It came out at the tail end of 1982. Ask your grandparents about 1982. It's got a mono sound chip. It's got 16 colours. Half of them are like terrible shades of grey and brown. 64 kilobytes of memory.
Is that why it has 64 in the name?
That is.
Oh,
Oh my
good.
gosh.
wow.
Yeah. It
I'm
has-
using my brain.
Puzzle solved.
Right, brilliant. It has the computing power of a banana. Like, it's...
A banana!
oh, man. Most of the games only used like one 8-way joystick with one fire button. You kids today with your
We've got like 50 buttons on this like
back
controller with
panels,
like
yeah.
that can also detect our heart rate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Mine
Yeah.
detects the heart rate and just goes, ooh, how's your life insurance? But anyway, during the 80s, it was the system to own, right? It had legendary original games like Impossible Mission, Boulder Dash, Last Ninja, International Karate, California Games, Spy vs. Spy, arcade conversions, right? The idea was, okay, instead of like the people who made an arcade game bringing it out for like, the home
To
systems,
yeah.
right? They just hired some other random person to do it. And they wouldn't get the original machine. They just get like a videotape of it and try to convert it. Do you ever see that movie like, Be Kind Rewind or something where Jack Black has to remake the movies?
Yeah.
That's what people were doing back in the 80s, bringing games to home computers.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So Bubble Bobble, Ghosts and Goblins, Commando. Anyway, it sold over like 15 million, maybe 17 million systems worldwide, made it the most popular computer in the world. But then people's attention span moved on to more powerful computer systems and games consoles like the Master System and the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo, and things moved on from there. But something happened that nobody was expecting. Games just kept coming out, and they still haven't stopped. In fact, there's more new Commodore 64 games coming out every month than since the mid-80s. Like, it's just flat out ridiculous. But I am, as the kids say, apparently, here for it.
Would
I'm
you even
still
say
hip.
it's lit?
Oh, it's so lit. Is that a thing?
Yeah, that came out so naturally.
You nailed
Cameron.
it.
Oh, I've still got it. So yeah, it's a viable current platform that I still really enjoy it, and a lot of hobbyists have taken it up. But one thing that's really cool is that, like, I like to joke now that if you just wait long enough, every single video game ever made will eventually come out for the Commodore 64. Like, in the last couple, just people are just bringing a whole swathe of super intelligent coders and artists, and they're doing this, and they're converting games that are on more powerful systems to go, we should do a Commodore 64 version. See what happens. Just demake them. Instead of remaking, they get demade down into the...
Just a little de-evolution, like in the Mario movie.
Brilliant. Oh, that was such a good movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a whole other episode that I can ramble on about. Like Portal, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just it's out for the Commodore 64.
No way!
Yeah, and you've got mouse support. It's just 2D, right? But it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And you make a little portal and you walk through it and the story and there's little cake and...
I've always, this is like something that I've always had a little bit of a fascination with, is the way that limitations only make people more creative.
Yes.
It's the most amazing thing. Like, so you can give an artist, like, you can only use 3 colors. They're gonna find a way to make the most of those 3 colors. You give the people who keep putting Doom on things, like a pregnancy stick, and they're gonna be like, all right, we're gonna put Doom on the pregnancy stick.
I love that.
It's amazing, and it's just like, it's a beautiful culture.
It's so good, and like the Commodore 64 was really good for that, because there are, as I said, only 16 colors, right? And they're not like you pick the 16 colors; they're set.
You don't get a choice.
You don't get a choice, but people figured out, hang on, if I alternate this color on this pixel 60 times a second, you make new colors.
No way!
So you get games with like 100 or so colors on the screen, and you're like, well, that's so cool, right? It's a clever little trick.
That is... Oh, no... How is that on the eyes? Like, you wouldn't be able to know. You wouldn't be able to perceive it.
No. It just
goes,
too
quick.
There's a new color there that I haven't seen before. That's neat.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so Sonic the Hedgehog just came out for the Commodore 64.
Oh, why didn't you leave with that?
Exactly. Sorry, I should have known. I should have told you. Yeah, someone perfectly converted the Master System Sonic the Hedgehog game to the Commodore 64.
Amazing.
It's so cool. It needed this memory expansion unit, really expensive, but you don't have to worry about that if you just use an emulator. Just use emulators. I've given away all my hardware, like my original stuff. I just use emulators. Although you can go into JB or Amazon or whatever and buy a new Commodore 64.
You can just buy a new one?
Yeah, like a couple of years ago, this company re-released...
Oh, wow.
Here is a new C64, full-sized, HDMI out, games built in. You know, those pre-made machines?
Amazing.
How much do they go for, do you know?
Like $200.
Amazing.
Yeah. So cool, right?
I was thinking that this is like something that you have to hunt down or whatever. Or would have to depend on it.
No.
Accessibility in my retro gaming?
Mm-hmm.
What?
More likely than you think.
I mean, that's amazing.
I love that. It's a whole new generation of people going to go, oh, cool, I'll try this out. Mum and Dad kept going on about this. I'll play it. Plants vs. Zombies just came out about 2 or 3 weeks ago for it. That's cool.
Dang, that was my favorite game in year 8.
Oh, so much fun, right? Why do people do this? I don't know. I think it's cool to see, like, as we say, technical challenge of limitations. Go, hey, can I squeeze?
Yeah.
How much can I peel away from a game and have it still be that game?
Right.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, you make the graphics 2D and you save a lot of memory you don't need. That's fine.
Yeah.
But what I really like, instead of existing games being ported down, is a new original stuff, right? That's cool. People are still making new original titles. What I've been playing lately is a game called Muddy Races, which is like an overhead racing game, but for up to 4 players at the same time. So people have made little adapters you can plug 4 joysticks into and race around. There's a game called 8-Bit Slicks, which is like you connect up to old modems and you can play against other computers, and it's all kind of geeky, but it's kind of cool. There's a game called Polar Bear in Space. Guess what that's about?
Is it about a polar bear who is in outer space?
I don't know how you got it, but you nailed it.
How did you know that?
I'm just so smart. I'm just so smart. Like, I can feel my brain, like, it's like thinking.
Big brain.
Wow, you should go to uni.
Yes. That's amazing.
Yeah, and Knights and Slimes, it's a platform game, but when I look at these brand new games, they're so beautiful and there's so much artistry put in there because you have 40 years of technical knowledge that are oh wait, if we could do this. It used to be you could only have 8 objects on the screen, right?
Yeah.
And then people figured out, oh no, wait, you can have 8 objects on a line, and then all of a sudden the screen is filled with lots of little moving characters around because the lines are all alternating. Anyway, it's all a bit technical, but it's cool. The graphics keep getting better and better and better because people are squeezing more and more stuff out, right?
Yeah.
Paul didn't have it on the new release list, but
Paul,
well,
shoddy news reporting.
Get it together.
Yeah.
Good thing he's not listening. Yeah, just this week saw the release of a game called A Pig's Quest, right, which is a Metroidvania-style platformer where you're a pig and you go and collect bits of armor and you attack enemies and you collect treasure and all. It's very cute, very beautiful. It used that color trick that I was talking about before. Yeah, it's very pretty. It's already sold over 1,500 copies. People are selling these games. This isn't just free.
It's not just a little hobby project or anything.
And some people do that. I made a game a couple of months ago on the Commodore 64 where, you have to collect... You're a very handsome man named Ant, and you have to collect top hats.
Oh, I see.
And I fit it into 4 kilobytes, and it was ridiculous, and I'm never going to do it again.
Fair enough. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, someone just... there you go. That's it exactly.
That is gorgeous. Sorry, Maylee. I'm just going to take a moment to try and, I want you to imagine so many colors. So many colors, very vibrant, very detailed. Looks amazing.
Rich purple and yellow.
So, and
Pig
they use
adventure.
the tricks to alternate between the colors that were available.
Yeah, and interpolating colors next to each other. So on an old TV, they blur together. And,
nice.
Yeah, using really cool tricks. So... 1,500 copies in a couple of days, that's more than what a lot of new release indie PC games do, right?
You release a game on Steam and you might be lucky.
Yeah.
You'll be popping a cheap champagne bottle if you hit 15,000.
Oh, that'd be a very cheap champagne bottle.
Yeah.
Thanks Steam getting their 70% cut. But yeah, I just really love that there is a system out there that is real. You can go and buy it, or you can just use an emulator and play it for free, and there's a community of thousands of people around the world who are making new games for it. It's the Pico 8, there was that fantasy system.
Yeah.
It's like that, but it was a real thing, and people are still making games, and I really like the idea that it's 1 or 2 or 3 people just getting together going, let's make a game. That old indie punk aesthetic where it's just let's just make something cool.
Yeah, it's kind of grungy. It's kind of a little bit starting out in your garage rock style kind of thing. Not really. I don't know where I'm going with that, but it is a bit gritty. It is a bit it's limited. You got to do quite a lot of problem solving to bring the most out of it, and people aren't just devolving games to be able to fit on it, but they're creating games from scratch specifically for this system that people don't really know about.
No, and there's magazines you can get on the shelf, that just goes, oh, this is all the new Commodore 64 stuff now. This is cool.
Yeah.
Magazines, that's another retro throwback.
Oh,
What's a magazine?
Well, it's
those are the things that go in the guns.
Right.
Yeah, in Call of Duty. You remember in Call of Duty when the guns...
So what we're saying is, instead of the Switch, Call of Duty should be released on the Commodore 64.
Yes.
I retract my previous challenge.
And a new, better challenge.
Call of Duty, the new one on the Commodore 64.
I'll call
and
it the boss
only
of Commodore.
the
Thank
Commodore
you,
64.
the Commodore boss.
Yeah, he died years ago.
Oh.
How sad. So what I'm saying is, just type in Commodore 64 emulator into Google, grab yourself an emulator, grab yourself a whole heap of games that are for free, and then have fun, right?
Just have fun.
Jeff Minter, I keep going on about him. His new game came out this week, Aka R. And he started on the Commodore 64 40 years ago.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So cool.
Anyway, thank you. Thank you for letting me talk about my favourite thing in the world.
Anytime, except for not much longer, because it's actually time for us to say goodnight.
Aww.
And goodbye.
Oh, That's rather. Is this the final episode?
For now.
Oh.
But I've had an absolute blast tonight, you two.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us, and thank you to everyone listening in.
I think it's very memorable.
Thanks for letting me survive another episode.
Anytime, Cam. Anytime. And with that, goodbye.
Goodbye, I love you.
Thanks for listening to Zed Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, check out our podcast on Spotify.
Or follow us on social media at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.